There are 3 basic ways to make custom t-shirts: screen printing, sublimation, and vinyl pressing.
1, 2, 3!
So today we're going to be vinyl pressing a custom t-shirt that we're going to make from beginning to end, from blank slate to finished t-shirt. I'm going to be making this shirt for a family vacation, and I used to be good friends with Tigger, so this is going to be just my little fun custom t-shirt for the trip. Let's talk about some of the tools real quick that we're going to need to get from point A to point B. The first one is going to be a vinyl cutter. Now, vinyl cutters come in all sorts of different brands, styles, makes, models, and sizes. And the size of your vinyl cutter is going to depend on how big you can make your vinyl design. Luckily, most t-shirts at their widest really can only have about a 12-inch wide design. So something like a Cricut, which is at max 12 inches or so wide, would be perfect. The second tool that you're gonna have is a heat press. Now, you can find cheaper, smaller ones on Amazon, or you can go all the way up to the really professional industrial ones like the one you're gonna see later in the video. As long as it gets to the necessary temperature of your heat press vinyl, it will work. All right, now let's talk supplies. The first thing and the most important thing is you're gonna need a t-shirt. Now, this is not a paid ad, but I really prefer alldaysshirts.com. They have time and time again provided the best customer service with the cheapest shirts, the greatest selection, just over and over and over again. I highly recommend them. But if you need something on the spot, you can always go to Hobby Lobby or your local screen printing store, and they will likely have some scrap t-shirts that you can use. I happen to have something around here in the shop, and so I just grabbed one in my size, and we'll be ready to press it here in a few minutes. Now, the second thing you're gonna have is you're going to have heat press vinyl. It has to be heat press adhesive vinyl. Normal Cricut vinyl, normal sign vinyl will not work for this project. Now, normally heat press vinyl will come with instructions. It'll give a temperature that it has to be heated to, the amount of time that it has to be pressed, all those sorts of things, whether the design has to be flipped or not when you actually cut the vinyl. All those sorts of things are things that you will have to pay attention to when you pick out your vinyl. So now that we've got all that covered, let's get started with our blank slate. Now, my favorite design software is Canva. We've got Adobe here. We've got all sorts of different softwares that we could use, but I'm kind of a dummy when it comes to graphic design, so I have loved using Canva, and they've got great options that you can just pull from their website using your design for free. So we open up Canva here, we pick a good size for a graphic design, and then we start putting in the text for our design. Now, using Canva, we can pull in elements, we can pull in stock images, we can pull in different fonts and things like that, custom writing. I pulled in a PNG for the signature here, and yeah, so that's how we're gonna pull this off using all these different elements. Once we've got it, we're gonna export the entire file as a PNG file. I could have also exported it as an SVG, a JPEG, PDF even. As long as you can open it with your vinyl cutting software, you'll be fine. Our vinyl cutting software is Vinyl Master Pro 5. So this software will open up, like I said, SVGs, JPEGs, PNGs, any sort of vector file or image file. You can basically pull into the software, vectorize it, trace it, and then create a cuttable file out of that image. Once we've got it all traced out and the way we want it, our vinyl asks us to flip the image. So we will have to flip this image and then scale it to the size that we want. I want the design on this shirt to be about 10 inches wide, so I'm just gonna shift it up and pull it out to the length that I want without distorting any of the ratios of the size. Once we got our file the size that we want it, we're gonna go ahead and send it to the plotter, send it to the cutter, do an area test, and then cut out the file. Once the vinyl cutter has done its thing and cut the file and given us the piece of heat press vinyl back, we're gonna do weeding. So weeding is when you remove all the vinyl that you don't want to transfer to whatever it is, whether it's adhesive vinyl or heat press vinyl. You still have to weed away what you don't want to transfer. With heat press vinyl, it's a little more tricky because the glossy back piece that actually holds the heat press vinyl together is much more sticky than the standard paper that comes with sign vinyl and standard Cricut vinyl. Once we've pulled all the little nooks and crannies out of the design and we've got it clean in the way that we want it, we're ready to put our shirt down on the press in the orientation that we want it, place our fully weeded design on top of the shirt where we want it. At this point, you would measure and mark anywhere where you want the image to go. So if you had a really specific place you needed to be repeatable, this is where you would do all of that. This shirt is a one-off. I'm just doing it for the vacation. I'm not probably gonna wear it again. And maybe I'll just, have it as a memoriam or something like that. I don't really know. But this is just a one-off shirt. So I'm gonna throw the shirt down and then press this down with our heat press. Now, what I didn't show was turning the press on. This particular press has to be turned on. It has to get up to heat, which for this vinyl was about 325 degrees. And then it has to be pressed for about 15 seconds. Once it's pressed, we just lift it up, we pull the shirt off and let it cool down completely. Once it's cool, we pull off the clear backing from the vinyl and voila, the shirt is done. So now this shirt is vacation ready. If you have any questions on any of the processes that I used or the tools that I used, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, get out there and make something awesome.